take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive.
Hey, what's up, guys? After watching that hearing today, or bits and pieces of it, because I was helping my sister-in-law move into her new place, it just seems like that the defense today seemed kind of lost. I mean, they did. The defense seemed lost today when they were trying to argue the death penalty and argue the aggravators. They just seemed lost. Like they wasn't giving very much effort today. You know, out of Massoff and Ann Taylor and Loxton, the judge, Judge Hippler, he was really being the prosecutorial judge, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not. But it just seems like that they came into this hearing today blind. That's just how it feels for me. I don't know how any of the rest of you feel. Like they did not do an accurate job of arguing the speedy trial. I could clearly see that. And I got to thinking, what is going through their mind today? Seriously, what is going through their mind? During the arguments for the aggravators, Massoff was tripping over her words. I noticed that. She was tripping over her words. And the judge kept correcting her on certain things about the aggravators. And then, of course, you had Ann Taylor out there arguing at the fact that the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment, and they were going back to the Thomas Creech case where it was botched. One of his veins kept rolling, and they couldn't really hit it with the IV needle. And the judge stated that they're in the process of building the firing squad, where the firing squad is going to be housed and where it's going to take place. They're in the process of building it right now. And Taylor was saying about how the state can't get the drugs for the lethal injection, and then what's going to be the default, which is the death penalty, and how it was taken off the books in 2009, and then put back on the books in 2023. Normally, when I see Ann Taylor, she's very on point. Her and Massoff and Luxton, they're very on point when it comes to things. It just seemed like today they couldn't get off the ground. And I've been in in the judicial system back in 2004, uh, 2004, 2005, and I know that the judicial system doesn't run like a well-oiled machine half the time. It's a very flawed system, and I hate to say that, but it is. The justice system here in the United States is a very flawed system. You know, just everything, guys, everything in this case, everything is flawed. It really is. What happened today in the courtroom was flawed. The entire judicial system as a whole is flawed. It's not perfect. Yeah, and we all think sometimes that the justice system is a perfect, well-running machine, and it's not. It does have errors. It does have flaws. Nothing in life is truly, truly perfect. Just like how just how this entire investigation went down, guys. This entire investigation wasn't a perfect investigation. It really wasn't. It wasn't a perfect investigation. There was flaws and there was holes through the entire investigation of this case. There really was. From the description of the perpetrator by Dylan to the alcohol stop on Banfield, to those two traffic stops there in Indiana. Everything in this freaking case, like if they thought Brian did it, why didn't they take him in for questioning before he left for Pennsylvania? That's flawed. It truly is. It's flawed. If you quote unquote had the Elantra on the radar on November 29th, okay, fine, perfect. Why didn't you have the owner of the Elantra come in for questioning, asking him where he was on such and such night? You had two WSU police officers. One queried white Elantras on the campus of WSU at 12 something in the morning, and Brian's came up, registered to Pennsylvania, and then an hour later you had another one out there doing the same thing, and Brian's car came up as registered to Washington. That's flawed. If you're steadily looking at Brian, why let him leave the state? Why let him drive 2,500 miles across the country? That's something I don't understand. And I truly don't. This entire case, guys, makes you go, you know, everything's sus to us. Like basically everything in this case, guys, everything is a timeline and a narrative. We just got to unwind the correct timeline and the correct narrative, because we've all heard about um, oh, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. oh, they're going to get you for this. We've heard that one. And then we've heard the whole grub truck narrative. And then uh, we've heard a lot of different narratives, and the only thing that matters to the Moscow PD is 3:29 a.m. suspect vehicle 1. If there's a suspect vehicle 1, would there be a suspect vehicle 2, suspect vehicle 3? Very well could be. We don't know because we haven't seen any type of evidence or corroboration. Yeah, I just watched a video by my brother AR, and he made a very valid point. How do we know that the gag order isn't hiding the real evidence that could exonerate Brian? I mean, we never know. That could be what the gag order is for, is hiding the real evidence that would exonerate Brian. Because, we are on our 18th motion of discovery. Why so many motions of discovery? Why haven't they turned all the evidence over? And they've went past the deadline to turn over discovery. Do they not have anything to turn over? Seriously, guys, do they not have anything to turn over? I'm starting to think that. I'm starting to think that they don't have nothing. I'm starting to think that all it is circumstantial evidence, and the evidence that they got, they don't want to show nobody because it doesn't point to Brian. That's the only logical thing it could be. Is the evidence doesn't point to Brian, so they don't want to show it. Because they know it would be a dramatic waste of time, waste of money, when the real perps are out there somewhere. That's what I'm starting to think. The real perps are out there, and they don't want to show the evidence because they ain't got nothing pointing at Brian. Three unknown male DNAs that were never tested, and if they were tested, how come we're not seeing the results? Is it because they're under the gag order too? See, that's what I'm talking about here. This gag order was put in place to keep the case constitutionally sound and the right to a fair trial, and it was also to keep the public from not getting a hold of anything and anything and everything to do with this case, evidentiary wise. Well, what if the gag order was put in place to keep the real evidence that Brian is innocent away from our eyes? Because how many motions does it take to turn over discovery? Ends on our 18th. How many motions does it take? Should take only 4 or 5? 4 or 5 motions. The prosecution has been doing this, guys. They've been doing this from day one. from day one. And where was Bill Thompson today? Was he, I don't know, back in Latah? Watching this crap on Zoom? Possibly. Or was he getting his nice little retirement suit ready? Because that's what I honestly think. I think he's going to retire before this even goes to trial. Why else him not being there today? But yeah, this case has been flawed from day one. Everything about it reeks. It does. It reeks. It reeks of cover up. It reeks of corruption. I mean, the entire damn judicial system is corrupt here in the United States. It's not a well-oiled machine. It's a corrupt machine that doesn't run what. It's like an old car on its last legs. You can get it to start and you can get it to run, but eventually it starts running rough and idling rough, and eventually, the old car just stops working. Now, I'm not saying I want the judicial system to stop working. Don't get me wrong on that. But what I am saying is the judicial system is not all sunshines and rainbows like we see on TV. Like we see on CSI and Law and Order and the other crime drama shows. It's not running smoothly like that. The actual judicial system, it is a not very well oiled machine with a lot of kinks and chinks and not working parts. But I had really high hopes for this hearing today, and I felt kind of let down at certain parts of this hearing. I really do. Normally Ann's on her A game. Ann J and Massoth. Today it just seemed like they weren't on their A game. They seemed really, really lost at certain parts during the arguments, especially for the aggravators and the speedy trial motion. It was kind of sad to watch. It really was. Like always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. Hit that bell notification for any new uploads. I hope you guys have a good Friday. This is Robert with True Crime Podcast. I'm out. Peace.
Like an adjective, I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the